Hi, this is my video on the SMATREE Smapole S1, and it's a mono selfie stick. Now this pole is suitable for your action camera, whatever type it is, as long as it has a GoPro mount, and it's suitable for your 360 cameras, but I'll show you a demonstration of that later on. This pole is a compact pole from SMATREE. It has an aluminium mount, a fast locking system for the stem, suitable for all kinds of weather. Now, it's one of SMATREE's compact poles, and I'll go around the box to show you exactly what it's like. Obviously, we have the, turn that around for you, we have the SMATREE branding here and Smapole S1. On the back here, we have some little information about the pole itself. Now it weighs, as you can see here, 188 grams, and it extends up to 40.5 inches and retracts down to 15.8 inches. And on the other side, same thing again. Now this is what you get in the box. We'll start up with the first one. Now this is what you get round the pole, attached to the pole. It's just a simple caution card that simply tells you how to lock the various lengths of the stem. So that's what this card tells you about. Next we have a simple little SMATREE catalogue on their other stuff here. Next we have the SMATREE assemble and disassemble instructions. Now this really tells you how to lubricate the pole and how to obviously separate various bits like this if you want to lubricate it and that. So that's what this booklet tells you. We have a general instruction leaflet here of the SMATREE pole, the S1. And now we come to the actual goodies that you get with the SMATREE pole. Now, so what we get here is a aluminium thumb screw with a nut and a washer here. So you get that, and you get that in this kind of, I think they call it aqua blue, I think, or aqua green. So you get that. So that's made out of aluminium, so you get that. You also get a standard plastic GoPro type thumb screw here. Same again with the nut on the end. And this is just a generic thumb screw. And then you get a spanner here. And this is for tightening down on the aluminium thumb screw. Not so much, you can use it on the plastic one, but really it's for the aluminium one. Now, if you're an adventurous sports fanatic who does them kind of downhill mountain biking, skiing, etc., I suggest that you use this one, the aluminium thumb screw, along with the spanner. And here we have the actual pole, monopole itself. Well, I'm going to say from now on, these are action poles rather than monopoles. So the action pole itself we have, and I'll start off at the bottom and work up. We have a nice thick lanyard, which has a wrist adjustment here, and it's quite thick, along with a nice plastic end toddle here. And this is firmly attached to the monopole, our action pole, like so. Next we have a very smooth kind of foam, not so much rubber but foam grip here. We have the SMATREE logo here on the shaft. We have the first locking system here and the second locking system, and as you can see on the video here, it comes in two stages, and each locking system. So that one is the bigger one, and then we have a smaller one, and which unlocks. So it's 3 stages, sorry, and which unlocks down, but you can see just by the sizes the difference. And then we have the GoPro style mount at the top. Now this mount at the top is not removable. Now I've tried to remove it. It is not removable. It seems to me that it is welded to the shaft here. But that has its own bolt in there as well. So it has a screw thread in there. So you don't have to rely on the nut at the top here if you don't want to. But for extra locking down, you can also introduce the nut to there as well. Now, this is how the pole looks when you've actually got a action camera on there, and this is my GoPro Hero 8 action camera with a Ulanzi case on there. Now, I probably will do in the future a little video on the Ulanzi case for this GoPro 8, but this is how it looks with your action camera on there and fully extended. Now, I know it states on the box, and which I showed you at the beginning of the video, that it extends up to 40.5 inches in extension in length. Now, they are counting on, when manufacturers do that kind of length, they're counting on they measure from the bottom of the selfie stick or action pole or monopod to the very top. So between these 2 points, it's 40.5 inches. But I don't go by that, because that to me is, even though that's the actual overall length, to me, the true extension length to me is at the top of the handle here to the bottom of the mount. The reason is being your hand takes up some of the inches and the handle takes up some of the inches at the bottom. And obviously when you put your camera, the mount to me also takes up some of the inches as well. So to me, the true extension length is between these 2 points, and between these 2 points here, it measures 32 inches. So its true extension length is 32 inches. Just like true form with SMATREE poles, which I like, the actual action of unlocking and locking the stem is really, really good. It's simple. To unlock it is a simple twist of anti-clockwise, and then you extend, and then to lock it, it's clockwise, and that's it. The same again with the next section, simply twist anti-clockwise and clockwise to lock it, and that's it, and it just holds it. And it's not even, you don't even have to do a real tight lock on it neither, just quarter of a twist, and that's it to release it and to lock it. That's it. Now I'll go on about the stem. Now with all SMATREE poles, which I noticed, they tend not to be thick like the GoPro poles or the Sandmark poles. They tend not to be as thick as them. They tend to be much thinner in circumference here than their poles. Now, in one way, I kind of like that, because it does give a kind of, makes this kind of light, makes it nimble, and makes it compact. I'm sorry about that. Now, about the pole, we don't have a seam on this pole at all, but even though the circumference of this pole is quite small, quite thin than the Sandmark or the GoPro Max or the GoPro Al Grande, it's still a very strong, compact action pole. So don't make the circumference or the thinness of the pole put you off. It's still a great action pole to have. Now, as a purpose of the demonstration, I'm just showing you how it looks with the metal thumb screw on there. Now it did have the nut there, and earlier on in the video you did hear a drop, and it's just come off for some reason. I can't find it on this floor, but you can put the nut there, as I stated. You can add the nut to it, but you don't have to, because as I said, this has its own built-in nut screw thread in there for the thumb screw, so you don't have to add that kind of nut to it, that closed nut to it. Now, as I stated, it is good to have your action camera on there. Now, if you've got a SJ cam or a Yi camera, obviously you're going to need the GoPro style teeth mount to fit onto this pole, because as I stated before, this does not come off whatsoever. I can't get it off, so my guess is that it is welded on there. If you have got an SJ cam or a Yi camera or cameras of that ilk, and it has a screw thread, 1/4" screw thread female at the bottom, you can buy something like this, and I hope to get that into shot there. You can, now this is a Joby one. Now this is from Joby, and it's a GoPro to 1/4" thread mount. Now you can get these off eBay as little as 99 pence or $1. It all depends who's selling it. Obviously it might not look like this, it might look something similar to this, but you can get that. So this is also suitable to put your 360 camera on there. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Now this is how this pole looks with the Insta360-1X. Now if you're one of those lucky people out there who's got the Insta360-1R, this, what I'm going to say to you, does not apply to you whatsoever. But if you've got the 1X or the 1, so it's the Insta360-1 or the Insta360-1X, this applies to you. You're gonna have to, which I've showed you already, first of all you have to get that kind of mount, which I've showed you already, and next you're gonna have to get yourself the smallest thumb screw. Now you can get these in packs of 3 on eBay, not so much Amazon, but it all depends on what country you're in. But I know in England I couldn't find them on Amazon, only the normal length ones like this. This one is a smaller one, as you can see, and I'll bring it up to camera. It's half the length of this one, so you have to get a small one of these. Now once you've got your camera on there with that particular mount, there is, if you do your 360 videos or photographs and you're going to look down, there is a slight mark you're going to have on there, only very, very slight. It's not much of a mark, it's very, very slight. You have to make sure that your camera is just straight in line with the pole, but it's only a slight mark. So you can use this pole with a 360 camera. Now here's my 2 pence worth on the SMATREE Smapole S1 compact pole. First of all, I'm going to go off with the negatives of this pole. The first negative has to be, to me, is the lanyard here. Now, if you break this lanyard, the way how it is in here, to thread another one back in there, it's going to be problematic, because with most lanyards, they come with an attachment on there or a hole, which is purposely made from the side, which is made from either that side to that side here, so you can thread it through. But as you can see with this one, it's threaded on the bottom like so. So to thread something in there and to turn it round to bring it back out is going to be problematic. You probably can do it with a J-shaped needle. You probably can do it with that, but it's going to be problematic. So that's one negative. The other negative, which can be a negative to some but not a negative to others, is the actual circumference of the pole itself. It's not as thick as other poles from other manufacturers. I noticed that with SMATREE poles, they tend to be thinner than other manufacturers' poles. Now, some people may like that, some people may not like that. To me, using this over a week in my hand, I did find that I got here, I tended to get a bit of soreness here after holding the pole for a while. And when I mean for a while, I mean probably about 25 minutes of holding this pole. I did tend to feel it here on my hand. So thicker poles may suit other people. So when you buy this, please try it out. Hold it in your hand as long as possible. I don't mean hold it with a really tight grip. Just hold it with a nice grip and see if your hand doesn't hurt. So be aware of that. So that could be, as I said, it can be a negative, it could be a positive. And the last thing is the top here. Even though it's made out of steel, out of metal, sorry, to me it could be a negative and it also could be a positive. The negative being that once this is broken or dented up, or broken or dented, it's not easy to you can't replace it, because to me it's welded on, so you cannot replace this. So you have to bear in mind with the top here. So bear that in mind. So that's the negatives about this pole. Now the rest is all positive. I like the compact size. This can be thrown into your average size rucksack. I'd say probably about 15-litre rucksack upwards. You might get away with it in a 10-litre rucksack, them really small ones, but I'd say from 15 litres upwards, this is no problem in the bag like that. On an onboard suitcase, if you want to take this in your suitcase, no problem with that neither, because of the length and how compact it is. I like the actual locking systems here. They are just simple quarter of a turn, clockwise to lock it, anti-clockwise to release it. Really good. The pole only comes in 3 sections, so that's also good as well. I like that. And it extends out quite long, as I says to you, 32 inches. It properly extends out to, even though it says 40.5 inches, that's the whole entire length, but that's quite good for a compact size pole like this. Now, I am probably going to be asked questions about balance and how does it feel in the hand. It feels quite good. It is a light pole, and even though the camera is on there, it's mostly the weight of this camera that you are actually going to feel than anything else, rather than the pole. So that to me is okay. So you're not really feeling the true weight of this pole. It's more of the camera that you're feeling on there. And the last thing I like is how SMATREE, with this particular pole, has given you 2 choices of thumb screw. You got a metal one for those people who are doing action sports as such, where you're going to most likely tend to drop this pole, and the thumb screw would probably be the weakest next to the camera lens, would be the weakest thing to break. But as I says, at least they give you this metal one, and they also give you, which I haven't bothered taking out the packet because these are just standard, a plastic one. So I like how they give you that choice. A thing to be aware of: even though the mount has its own built-in nut in there, this little nut here, please be aware, and it doesn't have it on the spanner that I can see on here. It would be good if they introduced another little hole on the spanner here to lock this nut down. So be aware of that, because as you heard in the earlier part of the video, that dropped off. And once that drops off in grass or dirt, that is hard to find. It was hard to find on a wooden floor. So be aware of that. Personally, I would not bother with this closed nut. I wouldn't bother with it. I would just disregard that nut and just rely on the actual nut that is built into the actual mount here. Now that's my 2 pence worth on the SMATREE Smapole S1, a nice compact edition. If you have this pole, tell me what you think about it, about this pole, because your opinions are different to my opinions. So please leave that down in the comment section. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, because I know my videos can be long, but I like to be thorough in my videos, give it a thumbs down. I do not mind. And oh yes, one more thing, please subscribe to my channel. And thanks for watching. Oh, and one more thing, I knew I forgot it. You can get this on Amazon in the UK and probably on Amazon everywhere else. On Amazon UK, I paid £21 for this pole. So it's on Amazon. Okay, thanks for watching. I thought I had to get that in. Thanks for watching. This video was sponsored by One Nest Studios. Elevate your sound. If you're looking for a studio that is reasonably priced to record your music, podcasts, etc., then you cannot go wrong with One Nest Studios. Contact the number down below or the email address or visit their website for more details. Thank you.